Okay, I'm back this week to do something really sweet and really decadent. I'm going to do for you a cinnamon roll mug cake. It's going to taste just like a cinnamon roll and be really, really yummy. So we're going to start out with, as usual, have yourself an oversized mug, but set that aside for now. Get yourself a little bowl to mix stuff up in. And right away, I'm going to give you an option of two different things to do. I'm going to put an egg in there today, but if you want to make it maybe, I don't know if you call it more healthy, but maybe more of a cinnamon apple cake. Yeah, that'd be, which I guess that's what you would call it. You can use, you would take out the egg and use 2 tablespoons of applesauce. Might be a slightly bit more healthy, and it would taste just a little bit like a cinnamon apple cake instead of just a cinnamon roll cake. Now you put that in there, you're going to head for your vegetable oil, and you're going to get a tablespoon of that once you remember where you put your measuring spoons. Ooh, once you get yourself some clean measuring spoons. And you don't drop the vegetable oil. Yeah, like I said, put a tablespoon of that in with your egg, if you're making the traditional one like I am. Then you're going to get yourself some milk. You're going to use just another plain tablespoon. Ignore the timer, I'm making myself some iced tea for supper. Now you're going to use a tablespoon of milk. If you want, you can use a tablespoon of buttermilk. Some people do, just makes it might be a little more richer. I'm just going to use a plain tablespoon of milk because that's what I have. Then you're going to get a fourth of a teaspoon of vanilla, if your hands aren't too slippy to open. And I always like to put in a little extra vanilla just because I think it tastes good. Now, oops, forgot a measuring cup. You need a 1/4 cup. That's my 1/2 cup. You'd think I prepared for this or something. There we go. 1/4 cup. 1/4 cup of flour. Actually, you need a 1/4 plus a tablespoon. I don't know why it's so complicated. That's just how it is. Get yourself a 1/4 plus a tablespoon. Try not to throw it on the counter like I just did. Put that away. And you're going to go for the brown sugar. Now you're going to need 2.5. Yes, 2.5 packed. That's called packing it down. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. 2. And it's not sticking in there. Get yourself a 1/2 here. Gives us a good cinnamon roll flavor. And you're going to use 3/4 a teaspoon of cinnamon. Dig into your cinnamon. Try to dig into your cinnamon. 2, 3. Now, it is optional if you want to put a little bit of nutmeg in, but just a dash. Literally, just open your container and tap it. You don't want too much because nutmeg's a good flavor to have, but it can also be really overpowering. And get your baking powder. Put a 1/4 of a teaspoon of that in. And another thing to just have a dash of is just a little bit of salt. If you need an exact number, just a 1/4, like an 1/8 of a teaspoon, or just a sprinkle. Because we all know sprinkle is a technical baking term. Now, you're just going to mix all that up. take a little bit to mix up because, yes, there are quite a few ingredients in this one, and this may be a little more detailed than I've done before, but trust me, it's worth it to make yourself a cinnamon roll cake in a mug. Not only will it taste good, if you can stand to share it with other people, you'll look really impressive for making a single dose of cinnamon roll. Okay, once you think you have that all mixed up, you get your mug. Now, if you want, you can spray it with a little bit of cooking spray, just as I throw stuff around so it doesn't stick, which I like to do. Makes it easier to clean the mug, too. Take your fork out, get your spatula, and pour your mixture in your mug. And using your spatula will help you get every last little bit into the mug where it should be. Because while it would taste yummy just to eat some dough, we're trying to bake it here. Nice and dark and cinnamony looking. Okay. And ignore the broken handle. It had an accident. Yeah, throw that in your microwave. And do it for a minute, and then we're going to check it. But until we check it, we're going to start making a little bit of icing to put on top. Because what's a cinnamon roll without the icing? You're going to get yourself a tablespoonful of softened cream cheese. And yes, mine might be blueberry, which might be an odd taste, but that's kind of the only thing I had in the fridge. Get yourself a tablespoonful of cream cheese. Probably a little more softened than mine is, because, again, I'm so prepared. Then you're going to go for your powdered sugar. You're going to get 2 tablespoonfuls of that. I'm going to get a clean tablespoonful here. Clean tablespoon. 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. And you're going to get your milk. Get yourself just a teaspoon. And then we're going to check on our cake. And it's probably going to be done another minute, but it's almost there. So then you're going to keep making your icing. Try not to make a mess. And you're going to mix that all together. It just mixes up into a nice creamy little like cream cheese icing. Just the perfect amount for a single little cinnamon roll. Yep, you get yourself a nice little icing there. Start cleaning up a little bit. Nutmeg back, my cinnamon and my baking powder. Your kitchen should start smelling like cinnamon roll here. Ooh, it's nice and you might need, if you don't have a handle on your mug, you might need some hot pads. But then that's just my fault. Ooh, let me see my fork here. Poke it a little bit. Oh, perfectly spongy little mug cake. Hot, hot, hot mug. You can see, we've got a perfect little cinnamon roll cake there. And to top it off, you just take your icing, swirl it if you want, but I prefer the dump method. Maybe get your spatula back out so you can get all the yummy little icing right on top of your mug cake. And there you have a hot cinnamon roll in a mug cake. And the icing is just going to glaze over the top. You can wait a little bit to eat it because, you know, the icing will glaze over top. Or you can just dig your fork down in the middle, blow on a little bit, because I don't even know if you can see the steam rising off this thing, but the steam is rising off this thing. That is a cinnamon roll in a mug with cream cheese icing. Yum. Still a little bit hot, but still very good. Back to a second. I'd like to thank you for watching this week's episode, courtesy of me and my little helper. I guess we will see you next week. Say bye, Chipmunk.